NeNe Leakes is never coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I need for y'all to go ahead and let it go. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? NeNe Leakes is on her press tour for her podcast that she has with Sierra from the Glam Shop. But NeNe Leakes has been on this press tour for a minute now, and she looks good. She looks good. She's been getting a lot of positive attention. She's been doing interviews. She's done one on The Breakfast Club. She did one with Tamron Hall. The aura around NeNe Leakes is good. Her being on the Upshaws, having a little moment with that, it's good for NeNe Leakes. It's a good season for her. But it seems as though this is a conversation or a begging tour, the same way that Kenya Moore has been begging to be back on this show. Real Housewives of Atlanta is good money. The checks ain't the same anymore, but it's good money because not only are you getting a check for being on the show, you're getting visibility out to the masses to be able to sell or work on whatever you're doing. Like, you're getting attention and more visibility to do whatever you want to with it. Kandi has been known to do that each and every season, which is probably why she's not on this season, because we tired of seeing it.
Ooh, is that shade Phaedra?
NeNe Leakes is not coming back to Bravo. I'm not saying that it's completely impossible, but the likelihood of NeNe Leakes coming back is just, it's not in the cards. You all know that NeNe Leakes had a lawsuit against NBC. She named Andy Cohen, and she talked about the treatment of the black women on these shows and how she felt and all of the things. And I support it 100%. To be honest, I feel like NeNe Leakes, her lawsuit was fair. I'm not surprised about any of the things. Granted, how Kim Zolciak was treated after the things that she had been saying for years and how they confronted her and how Andy showed up for her. These things exist. NeNe Leakes has experienced some stuff. NeNe Leakes should be higher up there. When it comes to Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Atlanta put Bravo on the map. Let's be completely honest. If it was not for NeNe Leakes, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and black queer lingo, black ballroom culture, Bravo would not exist, which is why you have a white gay man at the top benefiting from it all. Let's talk about it. Idea of NeNe Leakes coming back to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta for the next season or even this current season where they're filming. Right now, we've seen videos of Phaedra in a confessional. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening for many reasons. And I think it works in NeNe Leakes' favor. One, because NeNe Leakes is doing really good right now. She needs to solidify her own self for a makeshift talk show or podcast or something that she is doing. She has control over. She does that. She needs to go ahead and work on her own thing. She needs to do that. I think NeNe Leakes will be a good talk show host or anything. Like, I love hearing NeNe Leakes talk. I would enjoy it. We have not seen her on any other NBC Universal things because their lawsuit was against NBC Universal. It was against them. We're not going to see NeNe Leakes in these things. Also, NeNe Leakes, it will look bad for her to come on a future season of Real Housewives of Atlanta and it falls completely flat. I feel like it will be more harmful to her career because it will be a reminder of, wow, NeNe Leakes don't have it. And a lot of us are hungry for season 1 through season 7 NeNe Leakes, and it's just not going to happen. NeNe Leakes is more polished. She's older now. She is a grown woman. She has matured since. The things that we want from NeNe Leakes she's not going to give it to us. And I don't want NeNe Leakes to give it to us, to be honest. I don't want to see her on the show. I don't want to see. I think we need to transition to something else. Maybe there is a spinoff show where we don't get the dynamic of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but something a little bit more mature. But I'm a little bit iffy about that because do we want to see that from NeNe Leakes? I don't know if people want to see that. Let me tell y'all something. Half of the folks who talk about these folks coming back on these shows, they are not paying Bravo or even Peacock $1 to watch these shows. They are not interested in these things. These folks will be talking to the cows come home, and they will not be out here watching the shows like that. Real Housewives of Atlanta has seen a ratings decline even when NeNe Leakes was on the show. NeNe Leakes was not giving the NeNe Leakes that we wanted, and it was going downhill. NeNe Leakes had her chance. She didn't show up. She didn't show out. She didn't want to film. She didn't even want to finish the reunion, the last one where it was virtual during the pandemic. NeNe Leakes had her time. And I just don't think she should come back. And I don't think Bravo is going to take a chance. I don't think Bravo is going to take a chance. And even when NeNe was talking about the lawsuit, she said it was settled, that things are fine with Bravo or whatever, NBC. She can't talk about it because they probably put something in the in the legal stuff where she can't talk about what they settled or what they gave her. I think they gave her a cute little coin. Hey, girl, it is what it is, but the chance of you coming back to the show is just like, no, we part ways. They gave her coin and just like done with it. If you think that it comes down to simply Andy Cohen saying yes, you are dumb. Let me rephrase that. If you think that it comes down to just Andy Cohen saying yes, you don't understand NBC Universal as a billion-dollar company. You all do not understand that. NBC Universal being named in that lawsuit, pay her coin, they are not going to touch her with a 10-foot pole. Them lawyers have did their calculations. Them folks have done the numbers. They will lose more trying to bring her back than they will gain from her coming back on this show. And they're not interested. You're not going to see it. We also have to remind ourselves that NeNe Leakes is a black woman. These networks are not going to take a chance. She doesn't have that much capital. She doesn't have that much social capital as a black woman, even as influential as a NeNe Leakes is. Everybody recognizes NeNe Leakes. And there is this thing where we're seeing black women who are influential, who have had very successful careers, who have shown time and time again how talented they are. The moment they have a slip up or they name that they were mistreated, the industry wipes their hands with them. And we see that with NeNe Leakes. We saw that with Monique and her lawsuit with Netflix. Monique ended up getting her coin, and she also was able to get a comedy special on Netflix. That doesn't happen that often, but it was more beneficial for Netflix because the conversation had been heating up for so long, and that even though people didn't like how Monique was talking, it was making sense, especially heading into the conversation about how black folks are treated. Ooh, it's so interesting that was so long ago, because now you're seeing the reversal. These companies and the DEI and all of that, they are pulling back, spending money on these things to have black folks be a part of the conversations and all of that. It's really messed up. And for the folks who are saying that this is the result of the election, yes and no. If it takes one president to overturn all of these things, then we never had it to begin with. If one president is able to overturn all of these things that quick, that means that it never was stable to begin with. And I tell you one thing that has not lost any stability that much, that has been standing strong, catch it. The empire is corroding a little bit, but it's going to take a little bit more time. But we getting there. I don't want to see her return on Bravo. I don't want to see her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm honestly nervous about this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I am nervous because I don't know what it's going to be giving. I don't know if there's an appetite for what Real Housewives of Atlanta is offering. I just don't know if there's an appetite other than the stuff that we see online where people seem to be hungry for it, but it's all talk, because when you look at the numbers, people are not really watching these shows. If anything, they're watching the clips of the shows or the reviews. They're not really going and watching the whole thing. I mean, even this season of Real Housewives of Potomac hasn't been the best. I feel like they had a strong start, but it's been fizzling out. And with Karen not returning for the reunion, it's just not looking good. I've been said it's time to go ahead and sunset a lot of these TV shows, a lot of these reality shows. I just don't think they have the social currency like they used to. all of the clips that used to go viral and the memes and the reaction videos that folks have used from Real Housewives of Atlanta and a lot of these reality shows that were on cable TV, a lot of them are very dated. The videos that are being used and the pop culture references that are constantly being used over and over again right now are on Zeus. I'm so sorry. I can't stand it. And I just finished watching the Jerry Springer documentary and seeing the development of this show and how having these folks tussle and all of that and how they were interested in watching trash. We've been seeing stuff like this. We've been seeing things like this over and over again, where it used to be Jerry, when we see folks tussle, and it used to be World Star used to be that. Like World Star, remember that? Now it's kind of Zeus. Oh, y'all on Zeus Network. Or y'all don't want these. These shows are not on cable anymore. The shows that are producing that type of content are not on cable TV. Cable TV is more conservative now. You're not going to see that. And people have an appetite for that type of stuff. People won't admit it, but they enjoy seeing the girls tussle on Zeus and the mess. Even for the folks like myself who do not watch Zeus, point blank period, I do enjoy seeing the clips and the reaction memes of the mess that be going on the show when folks use it. I love it. What you over here being messy for? I recognize it instantly. Like, I just recognize the cultural significance of the show, even though it's trash. So I put Zeus Network in the same box as a Jerry Springer and the other shows that were very trashy, but people had an appetite for. I think the response to the negativity on the Zeus Network, I think the thing that hurts Zeus, even though it is trash and they are fighting, is that it's black. It's a lot of black folks that we see. And unfortunately, let's be honest, we don't want to see that version of blackness be out there and quote unquote represent us. We don't. The little bit of internalized blackness that we do not want to admit that is existing in us because it is here. We live in this world. We don't want to see that on the webs or anything because of it being a lot of black folks. And I think one thing that is consistent between Zeus and Jerry Springer is that it is poor folks that are being exploited. Say what you want to say. Them folks on Baddies and other shows on Zeus, they are not making enough coin. They're not making that much money. They are being exploited because after so long, people are not going to be hungry for Zeus anymore. Watch the Jerry Springer documentary and how they kept having to up the ante because it is shock value content. And once people stop getting their highs off of it, they're going to turn it off. It's only a matter of time. I feel like Zeus, I don't know when the time is coming, but it's only here for a little while. It is impossible for Zeus to continuously give us that type of content and not bore the audience. It's coming. Watch the Jerry Springer documentary. It's actually really good. I enjoyed it as a content creator, watching it, and as a person who loves the study of like social behaviors and humans and watching that documentary. Y'all know I love a good documentary. So when it comes to NeNe Leakes, again, I just don't see her returning to Bravo because of that lawsuit. I think NeNe Leakes is playing the game, trying to entice Bravo to maybe take a chance and bring her back because she is getting a lot of attention, which is why you got Kenya Moore getting close to her because they are stronger together. They are stronger together. They are sisters. They are stronger together than they are apart because if you get both of them and they're getting the attention and everybody is hungry for it, it makes the fans and the audience want to have them on the show. Which is why Kenya Moore is doing the work because she was on her begging tour too. She was on Tamron Hall. I don't think she will be on the Breakfast Club because I don't think Kenya Moore has it like that. But Kenya Moore wants to be back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She wants it bad and she's not coming. And no shade, neither is Kandi. Kandi, love you down, sister. Love you on your Amazon Lives. You talking about you will never come back as long as Hunger is on that show. I'm telling you right now, Bravo is more interested in having Phaedra come back than they are with you. It's no shade. Kandi, love you down, but we are not interested in the story that you've been giving us the last couple of years. There's a lot of appetite for Phaedra. Say what y'all want to say about how she's been on Married to Medicine. The folks want Phaedra back, which is why they had Phaedra dip her toe Married to Medicine and one of those other franchises of the Housewives where she was on for a second. She is dipping her toe to see if there's an excitement. Bravo and NBC must be seeing some good numbers because they bringing Phaedra back for season 16 of Housewives of Atlanta. So again, the likelihood of a NeNe Leakes coming back on a Real Housewives of Atlanta is just not in the cards. And I think it's just time for us to just let it go and just accept it for what it is. All of this conversation about she needs to come back, we want her. No, y'all don't. Because the moment she comes back and she doesn't deliver, y'all will start dragging, eating her up. And it doesn't benefit NeNe. So NeNe, don't even take the chance. I know she putting out a little olive branch and saying if they come with the right numbers and stuff, she will say yes and she will listen. But she has not had a conversation with Andy. She has not talked to these folks. There is not any conversation about this girl coming back. And I just don't see it. If it does happen, I will be shocked. But that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts on the possibility of NeNe Leakes coming back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.